Phil Parkinson has just looked the January transfer chaos dead in the eye and said absolutely not. While the rest of the championship is losing its collective mind trying to buy a miracle, the Wrexham boss has dropped a statement that completely redefines the club's strategy for the final stretch. This isn't just about who signed on the dotted line, it's about a psychological masterstroke that could either secure back-to-back-to-back promotions or leave the squad short when the pressure mounts. He's explicitly stated that nobody is coming in to replace anybody. A declaration that sounds simple but carries a massive weight for every single player currently sitting in that dressing room at the racecourse. We need to talk about why this specific stance, right now with 16 games left and a playoff spot in hand, is the bravest thing he's done all season.
Let's get straight into the meat of this, because the gaffer's words here are calculated. He didn't just say, "We are done with business." He used very specific phrasing. Nobody's coming in to replace anybody. In the high-stakes world of the Championship, where Wrexham is sitting pretty in 6th place after that gritty 1-0 win against Sheffield Wednesday, the temptation is always to upgrade, to look at a player who has served you well in League One and League Two and say, "Thanks mate, but we need a Championship veteran now." Parkinson has rejected that notion entirely. This is a massive vote of confidence. It is a psychological injection into the veins of the current squad. By stating publicly that the new arrivals are there to enhance, not replace, he's protecting the ecosystem of the dressing room. We have to remember, this is a team that has secured a record-breaking 3rd successive promotion. The bonds in that room are forged in iron. If you start bringing in mercenaries in January to displace the lads who got you here, you risk shattering that spirit and togetherness Parkinson keeps banging on about. And he's right to bang on about it. That spirit is the Red Dragon's DNA. It's what separates Wrexham from a club that just spends money. Parkinson is telling his players, "I back you to finish the job." It's a risky strategy if the quality gap widens, but it's a strategy built on loyalty and continuity, which has been the hallmark of the last 4 years under his tenure.
To understand why Parkinson is being so stubborn, and I mean that in the best possible way about this window, we have to look at the data from the summer. The narrative in the media is often that Wrexham just keeps buying, but Parkinson is reminding us of the reality. They made 13 new signings in the summer. 13! That is an entire starting 11 plus substitutes. That is a wholesale revolution. Parkinson admits it himself in this interview. He says, "When you bring so many players in, it takes a while to get to know individuals." This is the analytical side of the manager coming out. You don't just throw 13 strangers onto a pitch and expect instant chemistry. It takes time for players to settle, to understand the system, to learn the trigger movement of their teammates. We saw that slow start to the season, didn't we? That was the adaptation period. Now that the machine is finally humming, now that they are sitting 6th in the table, the last thing Parkinson wants to do is rip up the floorboards again. He acknowledges that they picked up uncharacteristic injuries early on. Why? Because of different training methods, the intensity of the move, and the sheer volume of travel required in this league compared to the lower tiers. The body takes a toll. But he feels they have come through that storm. The squad has stabilised. To introduce another 5 or 6 players now in January would be to invite that chaos back in. He's banking on the stability of the summer investment finally paying dividends, rather than chasing the shiny new toy in the winter window.
Now, let's not pretend they haven't done business. They have. But look at the profile of the players Phil Parkinson has brought in. It's surgical. We're talking about centre-back Zach Viner and the strike duo of Davis Keeler-Dunn and Bailey Cadamateri. These aren't vanity signings to sell shirts to the global fan base. These are tactical acquisitions designed to shore up specific areas for the playoff push. Viner brings that defensive solidity you absolutely need when you're trying to grind out results away from home, like that result at Hillsborough. You need steel. Keeler-Dunn and Cadamateri add firepower, but crucially, they are joining a functioning unit. Parkinson's, quote, "It'll just be to enhance the squad for what we need for this last third of the season," is the key. Enhance, not fix. A fix implies something's broken. Parkinson doesn't believe Wrexham is broken. He believes they're a well-oiled machine that just needs a slightly sharper blade. This approach puts a tremendous amount of responsibility on these three new lads. They aren't coming in as saviours, they are coming in as soldiers to join the regiment. They have to fit in immediately. There is no pre-season for them. They have to look at the table, 6th place, 16 matches to go, and realise they are jumping onto a moving train. Parkinson is betting that by bringing in fewer targeted quality players, he preserves the culture while adding the necessary depth to survive the brutal championship schedule.
We have to contextualise this decision within the history of the club. This is Wrexham's first season in the second tier for 43 years. Let that sink in. 43 years. Most clubs in this position would be fighting relegation, scraping for every point just to survive. Wrexham is fighting for a Premier League spot. That is absurd. It is a testament to the Hollywood owners, yes, but mostly to the football operation Parkinson runs. The manager is looking at the table with 16 matches remaining. He knows the margins are razor thin. One bad run of form, one loss of focus, and you drop out of the playoff places. The Championship is the most competitive league in the world. It is a relentless grind. By refusing to replace his core players, Parkinson is telling the rest of the league that he believes his League One heroes have successfully transitioned into Championship contenders. It's a bold claim. He mentions that the team has adapted well following that slow start. The win at Sheffield Wednesday was a statement. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't a 5-0 thrashing, it was a 1-0 professional job. That is the kind of result that gets you promoted. And Parkinson believes that the group he has right now, the group that fought through the National League and League One, has the mental fortitude to handle these next 16 cup finals. He is betting on character over currency.
There is a line in the interview where Parkinson says, "We want to work with the ones we've got and foster that spirit and togetherness, which I feel has been a hallmark of us over the last 4 years." This is the emotional core of the script. In modern football, spirit is often dismissed as a cliché. People want XG, they want heat maps, they want tactical analysis. But Parkinson is old school in the best way. He knows that when you are 1-0 up at Hillsborough in the 89th minute, facing a barrage of corners, it isn't your XG that clears the ball, it's the fact that you don't want to let your mate down. That togetherness is what Wrexham has built. It's the us against the world mentality, even with the global spotlight. By publicly stating nobody replaces anybody, he is reinforcing that bond. He is telling the squad, you are the guys, you are the chosen ones. Imagine the confidence that gives a player who might have been worried about his position. Suddenly, he's not looking over his shoulder, he's looking forward. He's ready to run through a brick wall for the gaffer. This management style is why Parkinson has succeeded where others have failed. He manages people, not just assets. He understands that a happy, unified squad with slightly less talent will often beat a disjointed squad of superstars. He's doubling down on the culture of the club. It's a massive gamble, because if they fall short, people will say they should have bought more. But if they go up, it's a masterclass.
Let's look at the physical aspect Parkinson touched upon, the uncharacteristic injuries. This is a crucial detail that often gets overlooked. The step up to the Championship isn't just about skill, it's about athleticism. The game's faster, the hits are harder, the travel is longer. Parkinson admits they suffered because of this early on. Different training methods, he called it. They had to adapt the way they trained to cope with the demands of this division. Now he claims, I feel we've come through that period now and the lads are in a good place. This is vital. If the squad wasn't physically right, he would have to replace people.
he would have to buy fresh legs. By saying he doesn't need to replace anyone, he is effectively declaring a clean bill of health, or at least a manageable situation, for the final third of the season. He is trusting his sports science department, his medical staff and the conditioning of his players. He believes they have found their sea legs in this division. The new signings, Viner, Keeler-Dunn, Cadamarteri, provide rotation options, sure, but the engine of the team remains the same. He is banking on the fact that the physical adaptation period is over and now they can just play football. It's the final third of the season. Legs will get heavy, minds will get tired. Parkinson is betting that the shared experience of the last few years will carry them through when the fatigue sets in.
Here is the bottom line. Phil Parkinson has drawn a line in the sand. No wholesale changes, no panic, no replacing the heroes of the journey. Just tactical enhancements and a massive reliance on the culture that brought them here. He is happy with the group, he is pleased with the adaptation, and he is ready to attack the final 16 games with the soldiers he trusts. This is a defining moment for Wrexham. If they secure a playoff spot, this window will be looked back upon as the moment Parkinson showed true leadership by backing his men. It's a refreshing stance in a world of constant transfer turnover. The Red Dragons are marching on, not with a new army, but with the veterans who know exactly what it means to wear that shirt. And honestly, I wouldn't bet against them. What do you think? Is Parkinson right to trust the current squad, or should Wrexham have splashed the cash on big-name replacements to guarantee promotion? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the racecourse revolution. Cheers.